Hi everyone, and welcome to my new YouTube page. My name is Mahala, and I'm going to be using this newish stamp set for me. It's called Extra Amazing Easter, and it's by Lawn Fawn. This is how I store my stamps and die cuts to coordinate. I find that it's super handy to just have them all right here. So in this video, I'm going to use the stamp set and I'm going to show you a process of how I create my cards. So first I'm just going to take out my Couture Creations stamping press. It's my favorite to use for any sort of stamp that I would like a nice clear image of. So I'm just using my magnetic mat here. I'm just going to put the images on my stamping press, and I just like to space them out enough to be able to color them and then also be able to cut them out later. So I'm just placing them kind of strategically here, and I find that my favorite paper to color on is Neenah Solar White Classic Crest cardstock. I believe this is the 80 pound. So I'm just, like I said, spacing those out. So this would be a good time to kind of introduce myself a little bit. So my name is Mahala. I'm a registered nurse. I live in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan in Canada. And if you know where that is, you might think, oh, that's pretty cold. But I just love it here. It's a great place to live. And I've been crafty ever since I was a little girl, and card making has always been my favorite. I started card making when I was, really young. I don't know. I was using the dollar store packets to do cards when I was young. Oh, and here I'm just showing you my Altenew crisp ink. It is Copic friendly, and it's just great for all types of artist markers. I just really like to put on quite a few layers there so that I know for sure that my image is going to come out super clear. And I'm pressing it down here. And I often like to go in again. I find that I just like my images a little bit more crisp, so I'm going back in with that ink. And if you're ever not sure what product I'm using, I'm going to try my best to list them all below. So here's the images here. And as you can see, they are so cute. And I am going to get ready to color them now. And actually, I decided that I needed one more bow. I'm going to have a fun little way to put the bows on the bunnies later. So I'm going in with my stamping block, and I'm just putting one more little bow there. It's the little details that make the card so cute, I think. So now I'm just going to put all of that away, and let's move on to the next step. So it's time for one of my favorite parts. I'm going to be coloring. So I have two different types of markers generally. I have Copic sketch markers and I have Spectrum Noir artist markers. They're both really great for different reasons. And just a general overview of that, I think Copics are great because they're just so smooth. There's such different ranges of colors. It's really easy to figure out which ones blend well. And like I said, they just are so smooth, good for blending. The artist markers there, those are great too. They have a harder chisel. They have a chisel end and they have a fine tip end, just kind of like Copics. However, I do find that they're quite hard. So when you're using them, they kind of are easier to make the details you want. In my just kind of my experience with them anyway. So I really like them for making details and for darker colors. So don't mind my head, it's kind of hard to color without bringing it in there. As I make more videos, I'm sure I'll learn the best angle. So I hope you can see my coloring here. I'm just using E11 and now E33. I find these are just a cute color for wicker baskets. This is usually what I tend to go with. So I am just making some shadows there with the E33. And I noticed there's just a couple spots I wanted to make even darker. And so what I generally do is use the darker color for shadows and different highlights that I'd like to make. And I go back in and blend that out because I don't want any harsh lines. And it's just so fun for me and so therapeutic to do this coloring. And kind of getting back to what I was stating before, just about me, is that I just love Saskatoon, and I'm a registered nurse. I work at RUH, it's the Royal University Hospital, which is actually where I did my training, which is super great. And I am now starting a new job on maternity, which is starting right away, so I'm super excited for that. But of course, you need downtime and you need just a way to be able to relax and just spend some time for yourself. So I find that coloring is great. And then when I discovered that you could stamp out your own images to color and you could make a whole card, that was just, I'm just hooked. So this is where the addiction began, really. So Lawn Fawn, I'd say, is definitely my favorite company. I'm pretty obsessed with them. And I've learned a lot of these tricks from them. So what I'm doing now is I'm coloring the chocolate bunny. And I'm using E37 as the darker color and E35 as the lighter color. I'm using quite a bit of E37 just because I find just a realistic chocolate color is a bit darker. So I'm going in the shadows there, and sorry, I'm just learning, so you can't really see where I'm shading, but I promise next video I will make sure to get it a little more zoomed in for the coloring part. And I'm just going in with one of my Spectrum Noir pink colors for his ears. And now I am going to use a couple different colors here for the little chickadees there. The chickadees are so cute. So I'm using a couple different colors for my Spectrum Noir line, but I am actually just gonna speed up this coloring now because I don't think you want to watch me color the whole time, and I'm not giving too many tips because I'm fairly new to this myself. So I'm just doing the same techniques, and I hope you enjoy watching. coloring done. And I am actually just going to go in with the coordinating dies from Lawn Fawn, and I'm going to go through I'm going to go cut out all of the images. So I'm also going to speed this up. And while I'm watching this video, I'm just thinking, oh my goodness, it would be so nice if I could just speed this up in real life. But it is a creative process, and I do enjoy doing every minute of it, but this part can be a little tedious. Some people have scan and cut machines to do this for them, but I also think that that would be a little tough for me too. It's nice to be able to just pull out the die cut machine and be able to cut whenever you want. So now I'm just coming in with a cloudy stencil from Lawn Fawn using Tumbled glass distress ink. And this card base that I have here is a 5 1/4 by 4 inch stitched rectangle. And what I used for the die was the outside in stitched rectangles by Lawn Fawn, and that is the largest one in the set. I really like using those, and I particularly like this size because it leaves a little border. Now, for this stencil, I'm just putting light ink so that I have the fluffy look of clouds, but not such a harsh line. So when I'm doing this, I have a pretty light hand, and I make sure to not have too much ink on my brush. So that's how simple the clouds can be. So if you don't have this already, I definitely recommend it. So now I'm coming in with some bundled sage distress oxide, and I'm using my Tim Holtz blender tool here. And I find that with distress oxides, I'm able to get the color just a lot easier on the paper. It's a different feel. I definitely recommend trying both of them. I know I've talked to lots of people that say they've only tried the distress inks, or they have all the colors in the distress inks but haven't tried the oxides. And personally, I love the distress oxides just because they're just so smooth and they give this kind of creamy color. And I'm not doing it on this card, but when I do spray it with my distress sprayer, I do like the look on the oxides. It kind of gives this like water droplet sort of look, and it can make really fun water cards, like a water scene, that's what I mean. So I really like using the oxides just for this smooth ease of blending as well, and just being able to do such a great looking card with not a lot of effort actually. So right here I decided that's enough. I don't need to put any more. So I can kind of look at where my grass is going to go. I'm using a die cut from Lawn Fawn. I'm not too sure exactly which one this is, but I'm going to find out for you. But this is one of the grass borders from Lawn Fawn. And I find that my tape doesn't stick very well on the distress oxide, and that makes sense. It probably shouldn't. So I just ended up trying another piece. That didn't work. I moved it over to my die cut machine and placed it with the magnetic mat because that's always handy to have. So off screen here, I'm just die cutting the grass, and I'm going to bring it back here to show you guys. It is so easy to just put any color you want down for grass and use a border like this and come back. I find myself using these grass borders all of the time, and same with the cloudy stencils. So if you're looking for some basic tools for a basic card, those would be my recommendations, those two. So here I'm just taking it off, and if you are using a grass die, learn from my mistakes. Make sure to do it just like this, really slow, and don't just like rip it off, because I've done that before and the little grass parts have ripped all the way off. So here you see I have my cloud and my grass, and it's already looking so cute. And here we have the card ready to assemble, and this has got to be my favorite part. It's so fun being able to decide where all of your details are going to go and see what your hard work has done for you. So excuse my reach there, I'm just grabbing some glue. And I'm going to be using my easy runner here. It's my grand one, my large one. So I like to use that on so many things. It's just the easiest way to put something down quickly and the most economic because I can buy really large refills, as you can see. So I just adhere that down there, and I've already thought this through in my head, but then I was thinking, oh, maybe I should show them kind of my process on how I'm deciding what my card's gonna look like. Although this card I had already designed, so it's not a true kind of look at what I would do, but I will show you. So I'm just looking for my Lawn Fawn glue, and I realized, oh, I need to order some more of that. But I do have Tonic glue, and this is a good substitution. So this is my Tonic glue. I really like it. I'm going to glue down the Easter basket here. And then, like I said, I realized kind of halfway through that maybe I should show you like how I assemble or how I plan a card. So I'm going to glue down these little Easter eggs. And this is where I'm going to kind of see where I want things. And these little bunnies look so cute right by the basket. And I have 2 chickadees, so I think to even out the card, I'm going to put them on either side of the bunnies, just for some balance. And I thought, oh, that chocolate bunny would look so cute in the basket. And that bunny on the right side he kind of seems like he's trying to grab for the chocolate, which I know I'd be doing. So that's a fun way to have the bunny. And the other chickadee on the other side, and just kind of placing the decorations where I think they would look good. And these bows where I think they would look good as well. So I'm just placing these with my fingers, but shortly after here, when I've already decided what I want for my card, I'm going to go back in and glue everything down one by one. This is generally what I do for my cards, especially when I'm designing them from start to finish. I like to look at what it's going to look like and then glue it down because the glue is so permanent. So right now I am just trying to see what glue I'm going to use here. And I apologize, it's kind of hard to see my card. I need to move it up next time. But right here, I decided, oh, you know what? I've got a really handy Studio Cadia embellishment wand, which is really great for small details like these little tiny bows. It picks it up because it's got a wax end, and then you can place it down after you've put a little dab of glue. So that's super handy. Mine needs a replacement wax end though, so you'll see pretty soon here that I decide, you know what, I think I'm just going to do it with my fingers. So I'm just adding down all the pieces. And while you watch me do this, I just want to kind of go back to, you know, a little bit about who I am. So you probably noticed my ring there. It's a little big. I need to resize it still. But this is my engagement ring. I live with my fiance, and we're getting married in 2022. Hopefully all of the restrictions are at least a lot friendlier in 2022. As a registered nurse, I know all too well how COVID has affected everyone, but we will hopefully have the wedding we are planning. And we also have a lovely dog named Milo. He's a border collie cocker spaniel, and he's just the light of our lives. So that's a little bit about me. I am so excited to be sharing videos now, or at least starting to. because I see so many people sharing videos and I am so inspired. There's so many creators that have given me the courage to try this. So I hope that you enjoy watching me create cards. Maybe it's kind of a therapeutic experience for you. I know it sure is for me to watch other creators and just kind of learn new techniques or see how people do things. Everybody's a little bit different. So now I've put together my card. I have fun with it when I'm done and spin it around. So this is my finished card base, and card panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go off camera and make the card base. Get it all ready to show you here. Before I get that ready though, I am just going to kind of take a peek at what I want for my sentiment. I hadn't planned out the sentiment for this card yet. So I'm checking out the Happy Easter. And then this sentiment says, "May your basket be filled with joy." So I thought that would be super cute. And since the card is kind of shifted to the right, if you see the images are just a little bit to the right, maybe that's kind of like an OCD trait of mine, but the Happy Easter I thought could offset that. But as many card makers and all creators are, you change your mind. So I took off the Happy Easter. I put the bottom sentiment to the top, and then I thought it'd be super cute to put "and chocolate" at the bottom. So the sentiment will read, "May your basket be filled with joy and chocolate." So I thought this was really cute, and to stamp it on perfectly, I'm going to use my stamp press. Another tip is using the stamp press for sure. If I'm doing a sentiment this late in the game, I definitely want to use my stamp press because I would be so sad if my sentiment didn't work out and I've already done all this work. So to be able to get a perfect sentiment, this is definitely the way to go. So I'm lining it up here and the stamp press will pick it up. And I am going to use some Versafine ink in the next step here. So Versafine is my favorite ink for things like this, the sentiments. It's like the name suggests, it's a really nice ink that's going to give you some bold color, but some great fine detail. So for little sentiments like this, definitely I like using this. It's going to give you that nice sentiment and be nice and crisp. So when I pull back, I see, oh, it's perfect, thank goodness. So now we can move on to the card base. Okay, so now that I'm finished with the sentiment, I went off camera and made that card base I was talking about. So I want to make a 8.5 by 4.25 card base, and I'm just folding that there. And I'm gonna put my lovely panel on top. And if you remember, I mentioned earlier that this size of rectangle, the 5.25 by 4, leaves a little border on my card base here. So it's just a little white border, and I think it looks so cute for cards like this, like cute little scene cards. Kind of brings, it's like almost like a portrait, like when you see a little art piece or a picture and there's a little border around it. I just think it's so cute. So I am going to just adhere that. I use my my large easy runner again, and I'm just lining that up, pressing that down, and I have my finished card. I am so excited about it. But then I went, oh, you know what? It would be so fun to add a cute little message on the inside, and that Happy Easter that I didn't use earlier, I could use on the inside. So for the inside, I put the sentiment on my acrylic block. This one's a little dirty, but it works all the same. So as long as you can see through your acrylic block, it's still good to go. I've tried to clean it with so many different things, but it just kind of gets sticky. Might have to give it a bath. But I'm putting Happy Easter on the inside, and I noticed it's a little bit off center, but you know what? That's okay. I always say it's a handmade card and it's always going to have a little imperfection. I gotta be okay with that. So now I'm just grabbing 2 different little Easter eggs, and I thought it would be cute to have just a little decoration on the inside. It's kind of my favorite thing, just having a little bit in the inside. So I picked 2 different designs for the Easter eggs, just like on the front of the card. And once I have that stamped down, I think the inside is done, and it's really hard to see in this video, but I just noticed that there was a little bit of ink accidentally put on the top of that card there, so there's just a little bit of black ink that I don't want. I just used a normal rubber eraser. It got off most of it, and then I just used well, I had to search for my sand eraser, but a sand eraser by Tumbled. It's a mono eraser, so I just used that. I'm rubbing off the rest of that ink, and it is coming off pretty good. So I am happy with the inside. It says Happy Easter. And you'll probably see in all my videos that I do end up making, but I have my own personalized stamp. It says Handmade by Mahala. And I just like to put that on all my cards so the recipient knows that it's handmade and don't plop it in the garbage, that sort of thing. Oh, that would be horrible. But this is the card, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. And thank you so much for watching along and maybe creating with me. I'd be so happy if you wanted to make this card. Definitely tag me in it, and I would love to see it. And thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone.